Hello, everybody, and welcome to Weekly Show. Oh my gosh, is it 93? 93, 94? Something like that? No, 94 is next week. Whatever number it is, welcome, everybody. It is January 15th, 2022, the first Weekly Show of the new year. Don't worry, I've not forgotten about the Weekly Show. I've just been really, really lazy, and I don't know why. I don't know, really, to be honest, but we're back, so, let's get started. NHL scores from last night. The Panthers beat the Stars 7-1. Boy, oh boy. And then the Wild beat the Ducks 7-3, which we'll get to that here in a second, the 7-3 thing. And then the Avalanche beat the Coyotes 4-3 in a shootout, and then the Golden Knights and the Oilers was postponed. Now, today's games, today/tonight, maybe. Still loading. Follow it till the very end. Maybe. I wonder if I restarted it and then. There we go. Oh, there it was. Okay. Okay. At the end of the second period right now, and this is currently as I'm filming, as you can see, at 2 o'clock. The Predators and the Bruins are tied up at 2. The Hurricanes lead the Canucks 3-1. The Capitals are leading the Islanders 1-0. And then later, the Blue Jackets are at the Panthers. Sabres are at the Red Wings. Stars are at the Lightning. The Rangers are at the Flyers. The Blues are at, the Maple Leafs are at the Blues. Then the Ducks are at the Blackhawks. Avalanche are at the Coyotes. And then we got the Kings at the Kraken. And then we have the Senators at the Oilers. And then the Penguins at the Sharks. And then 2 postponements, Devils at Canadiens and Golden Knights at Flames. Basketball scores from last night. The Magic beat the Hornets. 116-109. Then the Pistons beat the Raptors 103-87. The Suns beat the Pacers 112-94. The 76ers beat the Celtics 111-99. The Warriors beat the Bulls 138-96. The Heat beat the Hawks 124-118. The Cavaliers beat the Spurs 114-109. The Mavericks beat the Grizzlies 112-85. And then the Kings beat the Rockets 126-114. Then today's games. They're all later games today. As you just saw, the Raptors are at the Bucks. And then we got the Trailblazers at the Wizards, the Knicks at the Hawks, the Pelicans at the Nets, the 76ers at the Heat, the Cavaliers are at the Thunder, the Bulls are at the Celtics, the Clippers are at the Spurs, then the Lakers are at the Nuggets, and then the Magic are at the Mavericks. Alright, it is wild card weekend here, folks. Oh, by the way, my regular season record ended at 167, 108, and 1. So yeah. Now, we're going to make predictions on the wild card game this weekend. We have the Raiders at the Bengals later. In fact, just about in 90 minutes from now, as I'm filming this. I'm going to go with... Ooh, this is going to be a tough one. I'm going to go with the Bengals here. And then we got the Patriots at the Bills. I'm going to go with the Bills here. Then the Eagles are at the Buccaneers. I'm going with the Buccaneers. And then the 49ers are at the Cowboys. Gosh, I really want to say the 49ers so bad. Because I think they can do it. But it's going to be a close game if they do happen to win it. It's probably only going to come down to a field goal if 49ers win it. Oh gosh, you know what? I gotta go with one upset this week, and I'm gonna do it with this game. 49ers at the 49ers. So Bengals, Bills, Buccaneers, and 49ers. Then we got Steelers at the Chiefs. I gotta go with the Chiefs. I mean, You know, it's sad that Big Ben is retiring after the season, but anyway, Cardinals are at the Rams. This is going to be a good game to watch. I'm definitely going to watch this game. I'm going to go with the Rams, though, for this one. So, those are my predictions. Now, we go to... Well, that was some of my research for play-by-play yesterday for last night's game, which we'll get to here right now. Okay, scoreboard. Here we go. Which reminds me, I should have grabbed my one sheet. That's okay. We'll review last night's games. Last night, the Green Bay Gamblers beat Team USA 6-3. And then the other Team USA lost to Muskegon 7-2. By the way, there's an over 18 and then there's an under 18 club, just so you know, so that nobody's confused. Des Moines beat Waterloo 4-1, and then Sioux City beat Omaha. See, here's that 7-3 score right here. We'll get to that in a second. And then Lincoln beat Sioux Falls 2-0, and then Tri-City beat Fargo 3-0, and then Madison beat Cedar Rapids 5-2. Now, I'm gonna go get my sheet from last night's game. Okay. So I got my sheet here from last night. So, let's go to the Omaha game. You know, surprisingly, there was a lot less penalties than I thought there would be in this game. You know, I thought there would have been like a fight or something like that, you know. So, I was really surprised about how the game turned out in terms of how many penalties there were and all that. Yeah, as you can see, it was already 3-2 at the end of one. I mean, already this was going to be a pretty high-scoring game if it happened to, you know, if the first period played out like how the other three periods did. And then at the end of the second period, it was 5-3. So, already now it is a high-scoring game. You know, to be honest with you, I was thinking in the back of my mind, what if we scored 10 goals on Omaha tonight? Because they were so bad. I mean, I don't know what was up with Omaha last night. In fact, they're actually supposed to be in Sioux Falls tonight, so they might get a win there. I don't know, but we'll get to that here in a second. But their goalie, Kevin Pash, he was so bad last night. Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it. He had one of the top save percentages in the league at .920. It was like 5th or 6th or something like that. I can't remember what, but I know I probably should have it on my sheet, but I did have it memorized last night what it was. But yeah, oh my gosh, I expected a lot better from him last night. I don't know, just last night wasn't his game. He gave up, I think it was 6 goals on 23 shots, yep, and then Thomas Heaney, not Harry, like I was calling him. I don't know, sometimes my handwriting on R's and N's is weird. And my A's sometimes look like 9s, so yeah. And then Thomas Heaney went 6 for 7. He gave up the 1 goal on Tabor Heaslip's second of the game. But yeah, just absolutely what a night for Sioux City. I mean, Tabor got 2 goals, probably had the night of his night last night of the season, or of his whole USHL career, pretty much. And then Dylan James, he put 2 on the board last night. Owen McLaughlin had 3 assists. So it was an all-around good night for some of these people. Yeah, I mean, everyone pretty much got a point on most of these goals. I mean, Shane got a goal. Let's see, who else? Shimmick got a goal. Ludke got a goal. So yeah, it was really a great a great game for Sioux City tonight or last night, and they don't have any more games for the rest of this weekend, so that's pretty good. They were actually supposed to be in Sioux City tomorrow, which was already a postponement. They already postponed that game to tomorrow afternoon, but then it had to be moved over to Tuesday, February 8th, which I don't really understand why. They never really gave an official reason on why they did that, because it was already postponed from December 10th because of winter weather. In fact, I remember that. We actually got out 2 hours early for school that day. And I know that my high school basketball team was supposed to play that night too, and that got postponed to Saturday, I believe, or to a Saturday. I'm not sure whether if it was today or tomorrow or whatever. So yeah, which I'll get to that February 8th timeline here in just a second. But first, we're going to go over tonight's games. We got Lincoln at Des Moines, Omaha at Sioux Falls, Green Bay at Muskegon, Youngstown at Chicago, Waterloo at Dubuque, Fargo and Tri-City, and Cedar Rapids at Madison. So Sioux City, they get the weekend off pretty much. So, yeah. I hope they enjoy that break, because they're going to have a weekend in Fargo here this upcoming weekend, which...
Baba?
What?
You want to go get something to eat then, or no?
No.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So, Sioux City now is officially halfway through their season. Oh, no, wait, no, actually, I think it's 62 games. So, after Friday's game against Fargo, they'll be officially halfway through the season. Now, here's how the standings look in the Western Conference right now. Right now, as you can see, Sioux City and Omaha are tied with 36 points. Now, Sioux City has more regulation losses than Omaha does. So that's why they are in third place. But that also is because Omaha, they've only played 28 games. As you can see, them and Lincoln have only played 28. And Des Moines too. That's the least amount they've played in their conference. But they've had some postponements, and Omaha got into a big cluster, earlier in November with issues off ice and all that. I'm really not going to get into that. You can research that yourself. Where it was just a big mess, to be honest. And look at Tri-City. They've won 5 in a row, and they're 8-2 in their past 10 games. That's pretty incredible. I mean, if you see here in the Eastern Conference, Tri-City's officially first in the league now, pretty much. And then it's Chicago. Usually Chicago, they've been dominating the Eastern Conference here for the past few years because, back in 2017, they beat us in the Clark Cup final. So, yeah, I mean, pretty much them, Muskegon, and Dubuque, they're the it factors in the Eastern Conference. I mean, Madison, they had a heck of a start, too, to their season. I mean, it was pretty incredible stuff. Yeah, and it always seems like when I go back here to the Western Conference, it always seems like Fargo, Sioux Falls, and Des Moines are always trading places. They're always in the bottom 3, but they keep on trading places in it. Like, Des Moines was in 6th at one point, then Fargo was in 8th, and then Sioux Falls was in 7th, and then they were in 6th, and then they were in 8th. The bottom 3 teams can't decide where they want to be in the standings. I mean, it's just weird. Alright, so now, let's see what else was there. Oh, okay. So, a little programming update. Now, this won't take into effect until the end of the month. Now, the next Musketeers home game is January 28th. I may or may not be able to broadcast that, mainly because I have pep band for my school's basketball games that night, and it's actually going to be, well, our band director has the band split up in half. So half the band does one night, and then half the band does the other night. And we keep on switching back and forth. between the halves. But both parts of the band, the full band, is going to be performing that night. So I would really have to hate to miss that. But I mean, depending on what he's having us do. See, this all depends on what parts of the games he wants us to do. Like, the first time I did it, it was the second half of the girls, and then the first half of the boys. Then this recent time I did it on the 4th of January, it was only the boys game. But that was mainly because the girls did not play that night. It was actually junior varsity boys, and then it went right into the varsity boys game. So I believe the girls and the boys both play that night. I mean, he wants us there by 5 p.m. So that's, on the schedule it says 5 p.m. for a call time. So I'm guessing it would be for both the girls and the boys games in full. I could be wrong about that. We probably won't know until that week what we're doing, or when he wants us to be there, and like what parts of the games we're doing. And if I do happen to, and when I do know when, I will be sure to let you guys know as soon as possible. If I do happen to broadcast that game. See, the thing is, though, the arena stops letting people in after the second period intermission. So, right at the beginning of the third period, that's when they stop letting people in. So, depending on what he's having us do and when the games end, if we do them in full, will determine whether I broadcast the game or not. If I do happen to broadcast the game, it's probably only going to be the last half of the second and the third, or maybe just the third period, like I did at the home opener, the last third period of the game. So, yeah, I really don't know what's going on with that. And then on February 4th, I also have Pep Band that night, too. But the thing is, though, that is the final home game of the season for our basketball team. And I really don't want to miss that at all. But see, it's only my half of the band that's doing it that night. So I could find someone to replace me for that night. But I really want to see the last home games of the year, though, for our basketball team. I'm almost positive that's not the final games of the season. It's just the final home games of the year. So, yeah. And again, February 4th is the same. You know, if we do happen to, only do a certain part of both the girls and the boys, because I'm pretty sure the girls and the boys play that night too, then I'll let you know that week again. So I would really have to hate to miss both those games, but if I have to, then I have to. I mean, I'm going to be doing marching band in the fall for football, so I might have to miss a game or two. This year, I would have only had to miss a game, so yeah, I really don't know. That's pretty much what my schedule is going to look like for those 2 weeks. I mean, the thing is, though, those games are on Fridays. Those Friday games, those are the only home games of that week. So there's no Saturday home games either of those weeks, which is a good thing, because then, we can review them on the weekly show. Then the Saturday after that. Holy cow. Okay, are we still on the air here? Because, as you can see, my computer just, blacked out. I don't know if I was still recording or not. I mean, it shows it's still recording now, but, yeah. So, really, yeah, so, both those games, okay, the worst possible scenario, if I don't get to call both of those games, we'll review them on the weekly show, that upcoming Saturday, because there's no home games on those Saturdays. Then the next broadcast will be on February 8th at 9, 8 Central. It's a Tuesday night. I know it's probably right before bedtime for most people, but I never delete these, so, I mean, well, unless, you know, there's errors in the programming there. Or if copyright is a biatch. Yeah, because mainly all my Musketeer videos, they get copyrighted because of background music. So, I don't know why, but we're at a sporting event. I don't know how in the world I'm going to be able to get away from that. But, I don't know. It's just how it goes, I guess. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching us. We will see you all later for some Sale of the Century and the Mega Big Spin. See ya!